The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that someone took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it has grown, it is the greatest of shrubs and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches.
Finally, I would like to talk about the idea of home, and I want to use the parable of the mustard seed in order to do it. The parable of the mustard seed is one of my favorite all-time parables. You can almost picture the tree growing as Jesus tells the story. In fact, my favorite part of the parable is when the birds come and make nests in the branches. It reminds me of home. Home is a very powerful word. I think this idea that baseball is centered around trying to get the player home is what endears us to the game in the first place. From the very moment that the batter hits the ball, have you ever realized that in order to get home, they have to leave home? They hit the ball and they leave home, and then from that very first step, their quest is to get back home at all costs. One of the most exciting things to watch happen in the game is to try and watch a player steal home, as if they could reach out and grab hold of it. As one baseball commissioner once put it, in life and in baseball, the idea of home is that place in our minds where, if reunion were to ever occur, that's where it would happen. Isn't it one of the most wonderful things to hear an announcer shout over the loudspeaker as the dust clears the air, "He's safe, he's safe, he's safe at home"? So for us, our spiritual home is the church. It is where we find reunion with God and with one another. It's our home. And much like the birds of the parable, we wander away from that home, and yet we find our way back. Much like the runner who runs the bases, and as soon as they leave home, it's on a quest to find their way home again, we too make our way back home into the life of the church, where we find reunion with God and one another. It is our home. We give to the church because we believe that, like the tree, that home should grow. After all, we live in a world that is in need, real need of knowing what it looks like and feels like to be at home with God and one another. A world that needs that desperately. So give to the church. Give to that cause. Get behind this work that God is doing with us as the branches spread and more people find a home with us. What better thing is there to give to than that? Bring your giving home this year. Bring it home to Canyon Creek Presbyterian Church.